Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Cardano Podcast. I'm Ryan Morrison, your host, and today we'll be talking about the latest news on Project Catalyst. The voting has been open, so you can already vote for projects that are already in Fund 3. And I'm going to show you how to vote within your Daedalus wallet. That was discussed also in the town hall yesterday. We'll go through the most important things so you don't miss on anything important that happened yesterday. And we're going to see also after that some of the data that we can find online to see that Cardano is just not just growing in terms of attention and people buying ADA, but also their transactions on. So it's really the fundamentals behind Cardano. The network also is creating much more transactions than it was the case in the near past. So we're also going to look at that. But let's start with Project Catalyst. And first, if you want to have this, I'm gonna talk to you about what happened yesterday, and I have here in my computer the PDF. I downloaded it with all the things that were discussed yesterday by IOG. So if you want this PDF, you can also just request it on Twitter directly to Cardano Podcast. So our username is at Cardano Podcast, and then you'll find it there. Just tweet to us, and then we'll send it over to you, so you can have all the details that we'll be talking about today. So let's begin. What happened yesterday? Let's jump into the what you want to know. What happened and what's coming, and what are the times. So let's start with what happens and when. So and what happened is that where are we now? We're in Fund 3. That means that the projects have been already submitted, and then you cannot really submit your project for Fund 3 because that was already closed. We are at the voting phase of that fund, of Fund 3. That has already started, and then if you go to and you see on idea scale, you'll see that you cannot on Project Catalyst you cannot submit a new idea because that's not open yet. That will be open for next week, between from next week on, so you'll be able to submit your ideas or your projects for Fund 4. But now going back to Fund 3, so now you can vote, and how you can do that, you have to update your Daedalus. And you'll see there is a part in Daedalus, a new feature that is going to show you there that you can use your staked ADA to vote. Now you'll need a minimum of 3,000 ADA to vote, and you'll need also to download an app on your phone. So you can download it from the iOS market or from also if you have an Android, and how you do that, you can do that directly on Daedalus. You'll see a QR code for each of those. So now for the next fund, that will be, if we see here, again, if you want to ask for this information, just tweet to us at Cardano Podcast. So we're now in Fund 3. That's starting on February the 17th. So that was yesterday. That started the process of voting. The next part, Fund 4, starts next week. You can submit your ideas from next week, and on March the 31st, it will start the whole voting phase. Fund 5 will come later on May the 12th. Fund 6, June the 23rd. Fund 7 on August the 4th. Fund 8, September the 15th. Fund 9, October 27th. And Fund 10 on November the 17th. So as you see, it's a very ambitious project to have this decentralized VC, if you will. And talking a bit about that on what was mentioned also from Cardano is that let's see here at what are the main targets. So then it will go from 500,000 in terms of the fund size to 15 million. So in short, this is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be every time more. The funds are going to grow, so it's going to be more money to spend in the projects that the community submit. There will be also much more members. There at the moment there are around 8,000 members, and they want to get to 20,000. So that's also more than doubling what we have now. At the moment, the voting, because that has just started, as I just mentioned to you guys. The option in the wallet in Delaware is just available, so it makes sense that it's very low at the moment. At the moment, we're talking about 2%, but the aim is to get to 50% of all the people that are that have staked ADA to vote. So, and then you can also see more information if you request this document. But you'll see they want to jump from 250 proposals to 1,000 proposals, from 160 community advisors to 1,000 community advisors. And you can become a community advisor. Just go to cardano.ideascale.com and you can learn how to become a community advisor. You also be part of a specific Discord where you can discuss with other community advisors, and then you can see what are the best practices, what they have learned, and how to give good feedback, because that's something important. Cardano doesn't want you to, and it's in the best interest of all in the community, is to give feedback that is not just saying, no, this idea is not good, or this idea is great, awesome. No, the whole point is that you give in-depth feedback, and then you say exactly what they should make better, what they should improve, what they shouldn't have there, what do you or maybe how to make the idea more powerful to add more people. Whatever you want, whatever you want to give us a feedback, it's important that you give in-depth feedback, and that's what they're looking for, and that you also get compensated for that. So moving forward, I'm gonna put you a little bit of what was discussed in this part on the different funds that will be, the different challenges that will be in Fund 4. And as I mentioned before, that's the submissions will be open from next week. The possibilities to submit your ideas, and it will have different challenges from 400K to 20K incentives. But I'll let you hear what it was discussed yesterday.
And in this, we're going to do a big, we're going to test the edges of this capability, of this feature. We're really going to push ourselves this time. And I can't say in confidence that we're going to nail it. Okay. This is more like we're doing something super ambitious, trying to see our limit. If we can do this. And the big question is, can we do 6 challenges in parallel? Okay. This is like a huge leap. It's actually 7, because we have also the challenge setting. And you can see the allocations for the dev ecosystem. So for each one of the challenges, I would just say that there's, the dev ecosystem and depth and integration, both are, about developer adoption, okay, as we talked about the bigger goals. And the 4 smaller ones, these are seeds, these are challenge seeds, small challenges, just to see if we get ROI on them and if they should grow and extend. And this is all about actually evolving and improving Catalyst itself. It's about getting making better decisions, increasing the quality of proposals, engaging more people inside Catalyst, and of course, this is like a special challenge from the CF. It's about community hubs and sorry, the name of the challenge is not community hubs. It's a community centers, I believe. Sorry, just like this slide is out of date. But anyway, we're going to talk about the challenge. But it's about lighting a fire and seeing how we can go local, not just global. And it's about setting new challenges. Okay, so another $500,000 in ADA budgeted for new challenges that are going to be deployed in Fund 6. And actually here also I screwed up with the name. It's not community choice. It's going to be Fund 6 challenge setting. Beyond that, there's a lot of incentives that are going to be distributed. $130,000 going to be sent to different voters for participating, $50,000 for advisors for reviewing, $20,000 for referrers, referring new proposers. Let's take a shallow dive into each one of those challenges, and somewhere probably tomorrow, we're going to publish, you will see a different ID scale with updated challenges, and for each challenge there will be a much more detailed brief than what I'm describing here. And so that's like the deep dive. But I just wanted to give you an overview so you can start to think about it, start to think about proposals, submissions for proposals in next week. So let's talk about developer ecosystem.
All right, I'll stop it here because then it gets very long and much more in detail on each one of the challenges. If you want to hear or to listen to the whole town hall, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this podcast in our YouTube channel. So if you're not listening to this on YouTube, you can just go to YouTube and look for Cardano Podcast, or you can just check our Twitter, and then I'm gonna post it there as well, so you can have access to the whole conversation that happened yesterday. And also there was a keynote of Charles Hoskinson at the beginning, and then you can see all the details. But just to give you an idea, the whole challenge or the overall budget for this phase for Fund 4 is going to be $1 million, and there are going to be different challenges. So there's going to be a developers ecosystem. 400,000 will be allocated to that, to grow the ecosystem of developers, and that's the biggest one. And now we'll go in decreasing order. So then it's 200K for dApps and integration on Cardano. So if you have any idea for creating a dApp, now you have to be specific when you create that in that project. Otherwise, you might not get all the votes and the funding. Now there is also the next one is 50K in decision-making upgrade. Another 50K for another challenge called Proposer Outreach. So how to get new proposers. 50K also for another one called Catalyst Onboarding. 50K for another one called Community Hubs. That's also an interesting one. Is you'll hear also the Cardano Foundation had something to say in this town hall about the community hubs. Is mainly the idea is to create, as the name says, local hubs, so local a local community or a center about Cardano, and they want to encourage that. So that will be also, if you don't if you're not into creating dApps, for example, or if you're not a developer, you can still create a local community hub for Cardano, a community center. Then there will be also some incentives which one would be the vote incentives, 130K, 50K also for advisor incentives, and 20K for refer incentives. So if you want to also encourage people to come, if you know somebody that is a good entrepreneur, or business people, or people that are good in making applications, also, then you can tell them to put the idea, and they just have to put your address of Daedalus address or Yoroi address, and then you can, if they win the in that fund, then you get also paid. That's part of their refer incentives. All right, I don't want to get very discuss this on much longer, because it's a lot of things, but that's, I would say, the most important thing. And the time frames this year is going to grow, as you see, a lot. If you see this the whole town hall, you see in the part where Charles Hoskinson discusses the how does he envision the growth of this, it's basically a snowball. Is will increase more and more and more. So for all the ones that are thinking about the price of the ADA, we usually don't discuss the price, but this is where you see that you shouldn't just worry about the price. That's gonna happen. It's just gonna it's about like increasing the network, and so then the utility of ADA will just bring the price up, just a consequence of the good work. And then you'll see here the more dApps that are created, the more transactions that happen on the network. More people know about it. More people bring other people. So as you see, it's a snowball effect that, of course, will impact the price. So then you shouldn't worry about that part. This is the big picture. Now that we were talking about growth, let's discuss a little bit of what has been happening also in terms of new wallets being created on Cardano, new amounts of transactions. Is that growing? How much is that growing? Let's check that immediately. So I've just run a quick search on Google Trends. If you want to do it yourself, you can go to trends.google.com and just put the term that you want to see. So in this case, I put Cardano. And what Google shows you here is the interest, or how many search queries for the term Cardano they've had in the search engine. And now for the listeners that cannot see this chart, it's basically, it shows you that we have surpassed the big amount of searches on that happen on Google. That the previous peak was in January 2018, so already a while ago. Now we have passed that. And the most important thing also is beyond that is that a lot also of growth has happened in the creation of new Cardano wallets. As you see here, there was a for the listeners, I'm going to put this chart on Twitter, so you can also see it. The total amount of ADA wallets now is almost 400,000, and in the past weeks has grown also a lot. You can see also then the delegated wallets, it's around 214,000 wallets, 54% of the wallets have delegated their ADA. And now 72% of all the ADA have been staked on Cardano. Now let's look back also at the transactions. How many transactions are happening on Cardano? So let's look. I'm looking at if you're not looking at this podcast, you can search us on adapools.org. And then you'll see the amount of transactions as well. So you'll be able to see if you do that. If you want to run that search for yourself, you can just go to adapools.org and then search for epochs, or you can just put adapools.org/epochs. An epoch is a time frame for the Cardano network that it's 5 days. It's one epoch. And then what I'm looking at here, it's I'm going to tell you if you're not looking at this, is that in the past, let's say until epoch 2, we're now in epoch 248. In the epoch until epoch 234 was around, the number of transactions were around 35,000. By now, we are reaching 100. Yes, the last epoch was 247, and then we had 176,000 transactions. So it's also a huge increase. Where I just mentioned that we were something around 30,000. We're now at 176,000. The running epoch has already 100,000 and more transactions. So as you see here, for also for stake pool operators that don't know how they're going to get paid in the future, this is a big thing that you see. Those are the transactions are being more and more common. They happen, more and more transactions will happen. So then, of course, part of those transactions go to the pools, and they distribute also part of that to people that are staking on those pools. And then, so for everyone that hasn't staked ADA, this is a great way for you to see that the more transactions, the more ADA you will get staked. So roughly, and this is a question that a lot of people ask, is there a big difference between one stake pool and another stake pool? Not really. You should get on a yearly basis something around 5 to 5.5% in rewards. Now then, in time, that will change. I'm not talking about the percentage, but the way you would get now those rewards will be different. But I won't get into much into that. It has to do also with the non-inflationary system. But I can put you on another video something exactly what Charles Hoskinson has said about it, so you hear it directly from him, from the expert. So that's it, guys. Today also we discussed in this podcast what happened yesterday on Project Catalyst, so you don't miss the times that if you want to start already voting for Fund 3, you should have 3,000 ADA at least in your Daedalus wallet or Yoroi. If you have Daedalus updated, there's an update, so you can do it today. And then you'll see also how to vote from there. There's a new feature. We discuss also then the next things that are happening also in Project Catalyst and how is planned to grow. And that Fund 4 starts next week, accepting new submissions. So you can put your ideas there from next week on. Then we looked also at the how much the attention and for ADA and for Cardano is growing on not just on Google, and the amount of searches is increasing, and now it's at the all-time highs and even beyond that. So people are also interested. There's a lot of interest about learning about Cardano and ADA. But also that happens it's not just the searches, but also that also shows in the new numbers of wallets being created that has been increasing a lot in the past weeks. Also in the, and beyond that, also in their transactions. So this is not just people that are creating wallets and they're not spending anything. There have been a lot of transactions as well, and that has increased. We talked about since already Epoch 230, we're now at 248, has more than doubled and more than tripled also. So that's it. I'll leave it until here for this episode. There was a lot to cover. In next episodes, in the episode that is coming tomorrow, I'm going to show you an interview that we're doing with the members of SoMint, which is one of the projects that it's on Project Catalyst now. And we're going to be talking about NFT, non-fungible tokens, and in the art industry specifically. So stay tuned. If you're looking at this in YouTube, give us a thumbs up so more people, and leave a comment also so more people can know about this podcast. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or any other podcast platform, also go to our Twitter account and then tell us what you would like to hear in this podcast. And any feedback is always very, very welcome. So I'll leave it until here. And tomorrow I'll be posting the interview I did with the guys of SoMint. And after that, more interviews are coming. Also, we'll be having an interview with Liquid as well. So we're going to talk more about that probably by the beginning of next week. So that's it, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.